Previously on Tales of Ashion, having finally made it down to the town of Conith, the Foo Fighters decided to seek out any leads on coal at the Twin Oaks Cemetery. Branch, exhausted from travel, decided to go to the miner's daughter for rest, for what was to come. Meanwhile, the rest of you determined it would be best to continue to explore and learn what you could. While at the cemetery, Frederick encountered a man with similar beliefs, and the two lost themselves in discussing scripture and in praising Bahamut. Camilla and Palamides, on the other hand, spoke to many of the visitors enjoying their afternoons and learned of a section that had been, for the last month, largely left alone due to various unease and shadowy figures. Pulling Frederick away from his discussions, you all explored the shadow-filled area until uncovering a mausoleum that could be none other than the entrance to Cole's ritual site. The doorway, which was sealed by 4 magical gems, each with a unique creature etched into them, appeared to be the only way forward. With Severin's assistance, Frederick deduced that whatever was going on was also occurring outside the city walls, and most likely within the shanty towns. Venturing forth from the city and into the darkness, you searched through the oppressive void as Palamides heard the voices of his sister and mother weeping over the deaths of his father and brother. Their voices cried out, asking him why hadn't he come home to save them, why he hadn't been there to keep them safe. These shadowy nightmares revealed themselves to be the creations of a creature known as a Dreadweaver, a spider-like creature from the Shadowfell. And despite this creature's best efforts, you pushed the darkness back, freeing the locals from their stupor and apathy, and although the price might have been a little bit higher than expected, now you return to the inn, the miner's daughter, and try to make sense of what happened and what it could mean. Or what it means for the other seals that guard the door of suffering monsters. So you guys are now sitting in the inn or have just arrived. You guys are welcome to do what you like.
You know, guys, I think I had a great nap.
We had a great fight.
Oh, yeah? Tell me all about it.
Right after I get my drink.
All right. So, Branch, are you just sitting at one of the tables, or are you sitting at the bar?
Yeah, I'm sitting at the bar.
Okay. So the innkeeper, a gentleman by the name of Pellin, he's a male half-elf. He has handed you a drink. As the rest of you walk up, he kind of looks you up and down and goes, "Rough day?"
Quite.
I'm not
Perhaps we all need a drink. Or 10.
Well, I can certainly appease you with that. What's your poison of choice?
Whatever lager you have.
Okay, I can do that. Are you looking for strong, semi-strong? How many drinks are you looking to go through until you're drunk?
As little.
Okay, I think I might have something for you then. Will be the same for all of you?
I'll take what he's having.
And what about you,
I'm
Camilla?
still making for the room.
Sorry, Camilla, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I'm asleep on the bar stool.
Oh, okay. It's already there and just clunk out on the bar stool. Okay, so for the drinks, it is going to be 2 gold per shot. Let's make up a name for this expensive drink, though.
Do you have anything that'll erase my memory?
Alright,
Unless you guys want to come up with a name. I'll let you guys pick a name if you want.
It is a strong lager, right?
Yeah.
Since it's so, expensive. It's definitely gonna have that golden color off of it.
You want to call it the gold dragon?
I'm thinking something like that.
Okay.
What about Minesweeper?
The
Kind of like
blushing of
kind of
Bahamut.
Minesweeper, but it wipes your mind instead.
Mind Sweeper.
I like that.
Okay, okay. How about Golden Sweeper?
Ah,
Is that you guys want to go that route, or you want to go Minesweeper? Whatever you guys want. I'll let you guys pick.
Frederick is just gonna start praying to Bahamut and think.
what about
What about the chosen drink of the Holy Crusade of Bahamut?
or Goldmine? Goldmine. Goldmine.
Gold Mind.
Don't mind.
Okay, okay, we'll do that one.
That's good.
That's a good one.
Okay. So he pours you a shot, pours you both shots. You can see the little flicks of gold inside of it. You take it, you both take it, and you're like it burns going down. But you're like, oh, God, that felt good.
Another!
Oh my lord. I'm good off that one, thank you.
Okay, so he pours you another shot, Frederick. So mark off, that's 4 gold now. 2 shots is not going to get you drunk, not quite. For Calamities, and they said you want to go up to the room, so we're going to assume that Branch got a room before. So if you just want to say you went Branch, where's the room, and you just go up there, totally fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be my preference then.
Okay, totally.
How was the
doable.
price for the room?
So this was the middling of the road for it, so it'd be 5 silver for one of you per night. That'd be for a single room. If you guys wanted to get a bigger room for all of you guys to sleep together in the same room, it'd be about like 2 gold.
I'll just say that I got a room for all of us.
Okay. Yeah, so 2 gold a night, and that covers with meals and everything too.
Alright, cool.
For context here, when we came in, Calamities would have like found Branch and just been like, "Where's the room?"
All right, so the room. So this is going to be a rather large inn. So it's 4 stories. So we'll put you on the 4th story, the very top, kind of middle of the building. So I'll say Calamities. You kind of don't notice this. You kind of would say kind of where your mindset is, up to you. But as you're walking up, there is somebody that says hello to you. It's a female halfling. She appears to be in her mid-20s, and she kind of nods to you, and she goes, "Oh, good evening, sir." And I'm assuming you just keep walking past her, though.
Yep.
Okay.
Just walking past.
Okay. Easy enough. Frederick, you're drinking. Camilla's on the bar stool next to you, head in her like arm. Branch is just kind of looking at the 3 of you like, what the fuck?
I've had enough of a drink to start telling Branch about our adventure. Branch, as a player, do you know what happened last session, approximately?
Yeah, everyone gave me a good little rundown.
Alright. Well, I'm just gonna say that Frederick tells Branch, the character, like, so then there was a cemetery! And then there were those 4 crows, and they were pointing in different directions. And then there was a spider!
Oh my. You know, I'm kind of glad that I took my little nap. You see, I'm not very fond of spiders, Frederick.
I'm afraid there might be more.
You didn't take care of all of them? You didn't. We have to go back?
Well, not to that exact position, no, but there are 4 cardinal directions in total that we must take care of, and we've only taken care of 1.
So you think they're all spiders at each one? What if like each one's like maybe a different thing? Like
I mean, they could be different. I don't
Like
know. But what I'm
like a
saying
teddy
is we
bear.
might find more spiders. We never know. Bahamut only knows.
Mm. Then why don't you ask Bahamut?
My head's not feeling too good for that right now. As I
Very
ask
well.
for another drink.
The bartender, like, he looks at you and he looks at Branch, like he mouths, "Are you sure?"
I was like, yeah, he needs it. Just give it to him. I'll take care of him. Don't worry.
No, he pops the cork and pours you another shot. Mark off 2 more gold.
I pass him. I pass him 2 more gold.
Okay.
I just immediately drink it. Ask for another.
Okay. He kind of looks at you after a moment and he goes, "How about I just leave the bottle?"
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, 50 gold.
All right.
Okay, you pass
Since
over.
I'm a little drunk, I'm gonna
Hey,
spend 52
hey,
gold. There you go.
Frederick. Oh, okay.
He leaves the bottle. It's got maybe like 20 shots left in it.
Oh hell yeah!
You know
Do I
what,
still got the
Frederick?
cork and everything, so I can
Maybe,
keep it for later?
Yeah, he leaves the cork with it and everything.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Frederick. Maybe we'll save that for later on our travels. Like, maybe just take one more shot, and then maybe we're stressed out on the middle of a catacomb or something later, and we can just wind down a little bit. You know, no need to drink it so soon.
You know what? That is a fine idea, but I still need 2 more shots.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, but no more than that.
So you need to mark off how many shots are left in this thing. So you're down to 18.
Right, I'm gonna create a. Can I make a custom item?
Yeah, you should be able to.
All right.
Yeah, it should just be like a jar or
custom item,
jug.
yeah.
You can rename it.
I'm gonna call it a jug. Okay, what did we call it again?
Gold mined. Like,
Jug of gold mined. I'm gonna say. All right. So there's like 18 shots left, right?
Yeah, 18 shots left. So for context, this stuff is so strong that it could probably be used as like engine degreaser, for God's sakes. It's like that strong of alcohol. It'll kill brain cells very quickly.
Perfect. Exactly what we need.
Okay.
All right. Well, after that, I'm just gonna go to the room and just drop into bed.
Okay. Are you guys just gonna leave
Maybe
Camilla on the
stumble
bench?
down some stairs. Totally.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, Branch, what do you want to do as your compatriots are getting drunk and going to bed to crash?
Well, I just got done resting. I guess I could just keep watch for them, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe do some meditating.
Okay.
Or
Totally
maybe a
doable.
nice day of leisure.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you can kick back, relax. Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah. Camilla, do you just want to hang out there on the bar stool and that's it, or wake up eventually and go upstairs?
Actually, what's Severin doing? I'm gonna kick back with Severin.
So Severin is hiding out in the bag of holding right now. So
Okay, I'll go back to the room and take him out of the bag of holding and just like I'll catch up with him.
Okay.
Have some little chit chat time.
So he did get a little bit more powerful. So he can cast his level
Ah.
2 spells. He can do Blur and Flaming Sphere now. So he's a little excited about that, but then like he looks over at Calamities as Calamities is sleeping and is like, that was some fucked up shit.
Yeah, Calamities is gonna be like curled up in the fetal position sleeping.
Yeah. Like Severin is also very like uneasy about the experience. He didn't even go through it all, but he was like, it was darkness, pure darkness everywhere. Couldn't see, felt oppressive. My flames kept trying to be put out. He was like, it was scary as fuck. Let's not do that again.
We're gonna have to do that 3 times! Frederick says in his sleep.
Oh boy, I'm so excited.
So excited. I just can't hide it. But yeah, if you want to ask him any specific questions, you are welcome to do so.
I think more so, I'm just gonna ask him about what happened in specifics with Calamities, because everyone like Frederick told me, but he didn't really explain.
Okay, so
Like I feel like that's not something Frederick would go deep into.
sure.
In his sleep, Frederick just whispers, "Heresy."
uh, so Severin, it takes him a little bit. I mean, he doesn't sleep. He's an undead creature, so when you guys have as long as you want.
Right.
But I would say roll a persuasion check. It's not going to be super difficult. You're just kind of coaxing it out of him over the night.
I don't know what that was. That was a misclick. Hold on. Persuasion. Okay, there we go.
What's a misinput?
16.
Okay, plenty easy. So it takes you about an hour or so to kind of coax it out of him. But eventually, he kind of tells you, like when you guys were searching, like you guys went to the mausoleum. He tells you about that. He tells you that you guys found the 4 symbols, and him and Frederick had basically figured out that there are 4 locations somewhere on the outsides of town, and you was estimated was in the shanty towns, is where these totems or objects or whatever these creatures are. Something's there that's causing a problem. As a group, they decided to go out and investigate. And while searching through the shanty town, the darkness just got more and more oppressive. It got more difficult to see, to hear. He describes it as if the darkness was pushing against him and against everyone else. And Calamities was ahead of him and disappeared at some point. They all of them heard, or at least he heard voices. It was difficult to understand them, but he tells you that he thinks Calamity understood what they were. When they kind of came to where the fighting unfolded, Calamities seemed to be kneeling before these kind of cocoons in the center, and had told him to eventually to try and destroy one of the cocoons as they were fighting. When he did, a spectral, almost wailing spirit emanated from them, and he didn't recognize, and like Severin didn't recognize any of these people for it, but Calamities seemed to. So he assumes that maybe there's something related to Calamities and family in that sense, but that's all he knows. When the monster was defeated and destroyed, the shadows went away or started to dissipate, and there was a totem in the center, in a small woven cocoon that Calamities broke open, and there was a spider, like clay spider figure in there. When they broke the spider figure, the shadows disappeared, and everybody in the shanty town kind of came to their senses. But unfortunately, Calamities was in the condition he is now, kind of repressed into himself.
Okay. Well, I hope he wakes up from his nap feeling at least a little bit better.
Yeah, Severin kind of looks at Calamities and goes, I hope so too. I really don't want to do that again.
Oh, but it sounds like we might have to do it again, Severin.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. I'm gonna
just
hide in the
prepare
bag.
yourself. We might need you should something like that happen again.
Well,
So I don't know. You can hide in the bag until we need you. But like,
I don't like the bag, but I don't want to go through that again. That was scary.
well, maybe maybe it won't be like that again. Maybe it'll just be something else. Maybe we'll just fight like a dragon or something instead of something crazy.
It's like there's Severn again has no skin, but you see his head kind of tilt a little, and then he gets a little more serious, and he goes, "You're really fucked up. You know that? You'd rather face a dragon? What is wrong with you?"
Well, I feel like I'd rather face a dragon than be like mentally scarred for the rest of my life.
He goes, "Well, I mean,
I
certain
I think
death,
fighting a dragon might do that.
mentally
Depends on
scarred."
how it turns out.
He's like, so he kind of just looks at you and he goes, "I don't see a difference. You're fucked either way."
Oh, I guess think about it this way: if you survive the dragon, if you slay the dragon, just imagine how how cool that makes you. Like, and then we can carry around the dragon head.
He kind of, you see his head nodding, like bobbing up and down, like he's nodding, thinking. He's like, "That's a good point. There aren't a lot of dragon slayers that are known in the world, at least not in the Empire. There was a group I heard of a few years ago. Yeah, that was probably the most recent one." And then he goes, "Oh no, wait, there was one the Empire killed. There, like the Imperial Army killed one. It was maybe 2 years ago. Wow, that took the whole army though. Okay, maybe we should go find a dragon instead. I think we should leave and go find a dragon. Yeah, that's a good idea."
Ah. See, and then we'll probably be rich forever, and everyone will fear us, or like, I don't know. I just feel like it's just a good idea rather than a spooky, mentally abusive spider, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And the dragon line, he's like kind of like bobs up and down. He's like, maybe I don't know if I can. I don't really need a spell book anymore, but there certainly be scrolls and other books that could be
Yeah.
worthwhile.
Oh, see, now
Yeah,
you're thinking, Severin.
yeah.
Now at least I know you got a brain in there still too.
He goes,
Maybe.
you know, he kind of shakes his head like he's trying to listen to his head's rattling or anything. He's like, "If you say so." I can't really see myself, if you know what I mean. It's kind of hard to pull up a mirror. I don't even really
Oh.
know what I look like.
Well, it's not very pretty. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
But for being unalive, you don't look that bad. That's any consolation.
It's
Yeah.
not. No.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But if I look that bad, you got a mirror? I kind of.
uh,
Actually, never mind. I don't want
I
to
don't
know.
think I don't think
No,
you want
I
one.
don't
Yeah,
wanna know.
yeah. See,
No, no,
yeah.
no, no.
Jesus.
You can see his head. He kind of just turns and looks away a little bit, and
This man's gonna fly over like the water. Just like, ah!
what is that?
There's a monster in the water.
Get it, guys, get it. That's you. No, it's not me.
Oh man.
Well, anything
All
else?
right. Well, I think that's all my questions for you, Sarah. I appreciate the chat. Yeah, I hope you know, like in the past, like when I used to swing you around on a stick and stuff. I hope that doesn't hope you don't hold that against me. I was just like, I mean, like look at you now. Like if I hadn't done that, like you wouldn't be where you're at now. So
That was kind of an asshole thing to do. And then he pulls out the staff and he hits you over the head and he goes, "Ha! Gotcha back!"
All right. I guess we're even now. Thank you, Sarah.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, "At least I didn't shoot fire at you." And his eyes begin to glow a little bit.
Uh,
Get through.
no, don't please don't cinch my fur, Severin. You know how long this takes to grow back.
Yeah, it's gonna grow back faster than your tail will. Ha! And he zips around the room.
Ah, You got me there, huh? Severin? Yeah, Severin, maybe you should work
Saucy.
up a spell on regrowing my tail. How about that?
He kind of stops. He goes, I don't know if I could do that.
Oh, well, think on it.
I can try. Sure. Why not?
That's a place to start. Learn how to
Yeah.
regrow a tail. Could start working on a body.
Yeah, start.
What
Yeah,
am I looking
see,
here?
there you go.
Yeah. Well,
This
he's
is the
gonna
voice
go
of
over.
God.
Like, so let's say there's a table in the room. So he kind of goes, I'll think on it. And then he kind of floats over to the table and about half of an inch off the table. And then you hear this clunk as he just lands on the table. And the flames start to die down. And you can just see this flickering coals for eyes like he's thinking.
It's like watching a dog sleep.
Beautiful. I have the utmost faith in him.
Like a dog
Alright.
sleeping even though he doesn't sleep. All right. Well, unless you have anything else. Camilla, everyone has left you
Nope,
down at the
that's all.
bar. What do you want to do? Are you guys going to sleep there the whole
I'm
night?
I'm probably gonna end up doing the thing where I like start leaning too much and feel like I'm falling. Just like overcorrect way too hard and fall off the bar stool.
Okay. See, you fall off the bar stool onto the ground and you're like, oh, wake yourself up. It is like 2 a.m. There's a little candle, like a lamp, sitting on the bar. That's turned all the way down as low as it can be, but otherwise there's no one around.
Yeah, I'm going back up to the room. It's way too spooky down here. I'm like full sprint back up to the room.
Okay.
You're surrounded by darkness.
Yeah, the shadow monsters are gonna get me.
They're everywhere. Never know. Okay. So you make it up to the room and you find Branch just doing whatever, and Cedric's head. Like, Cedric, you see the skull sitting on the desk as you walk in, or the table as you walk in, and there's not really a whole lot of flames. It's very dull, like a light blue. And you just see it just scrape on the table, that nail scrape noise on the table as he turns and looks at you.
Oh my god. I'm diving under a blanket and just going to bed.
And he goes, what?
Absolutely not.
You shit your pants.
Okay. Cedric, like, he has no clue. Severin has no clue why you're freaking out. He's just like, okay. And you hear his voice and he goes, good night, Camilla.
Good night.
Okay. Well, you can all mark off a long rest as you guys go. What the fuck was that?
That's the worst thing I come back to.
Okay. Well, morning comes. Everyone make sure you mark off a long rest on your character sheets.
Woohoo.
Frederick goes, what's that headache?
Well, you've
After
drank enough
drinking a
normally.
bit
You
too much.
did not get that drunk. Unless you
Oh,
really
okay.
want to roll for it, in which case I will let you roll for it if you want.
Because from the description, I'm thinking gold mine is like 80% alcohol per volume, okay?
Okay, we could do that. So
80.
Oh,
roll a Constitution saving throw then. The aspect of
doesn't
tea
have
any
more
that
of their
appears in
taste
your
buds.
dreams to kill you all.
Oh.
No.
Sorry, Frederick.
Alright, that's a 14.
Yeah, you need to beat a 15. You wake up and
Oh.
you definitely feel hungover.
that's terrifying.
It's a really small rendition of Tiamat. I would make that so much bigger.
I mean, it's just an aspect.
That's
But
true.
then again, it's so
Is that what
That's
the
so
headache
small for
feels
an
like?
aspect too.
That is what the headache feels like. Some feels like you got 5 heads going. Oh my god, what the fuck?
Yeah, so my headache feels like there's a whole aspect of Tiamat inside my head.
I mean, it could be worse. You could have summoned Tiamat, and that would have been worse.
Fair enough.
Okay. So you all kind of wake up. As you wake up, you all do see Severin. He's kind of this time now he's floating above the table, but he seems to be like. You do see his spectral hand, and there's a book in front of him, and the hand just every now and then flips a page, and he's just reading.
Mm.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, what you reading there?
It's some tome I found. The guy downstairs had it. Don't tell
Is
him.
it a tome on growing tails?
No, you're out of luck there, I think. But I kind of snuck down last night, and yeah, it's just some history book that he had. It's the history of the Empire. I've read it before, but I didn't have anything else to do.
Oh.
I take a look at the tome to see if it's anything I recognize.
Make a history check.
Well, that's a 9.
So it's not difficult to recognize. You do recognize
Alright.
it. It's probably the most common history book of the Empire. It covers... so the Empire's been around for more than 2,000 years. But it covers very briefly the foundation of the Empire. And then it covers probably maybe the last 1,000 years. There is a large section about, it's called the Siege of Dragons, which happened about 500 years ago. Essentially, in a nutshell, we'll say that's the section he's reading on because you guys were talking about dragons. The Siege of Dragons was a war that happened for about, if I remember correctly, about 80 years. And it was all over the world. Dragons came out of nowhere and started sieging towns and cities and attacking people. They just were there one day, just out of nowhere, having not been seen for centuries. And then just as quickly after 80 years, they just vanished. The history books say that something happened, like rumor and speculation, the historians believe that there was some kind of magical effect or something that the mages of the conclave or something that the emperor was doing at the time. Because after the emperor died, a couple years later, there was rumors that some kind of magical artifact had been taken by the dragons, and then they disappeared. They stopped attacking after that. It's all pure speculation. Nobody knows for sure. But that is the supported or believed to be cause of whatever it was.
Frederick is just gonna go, this chapter is all bullshit. We all know that the dragons all were gone thanks to Bahamut.
He looks at you and he goes, you do know Bahamut's a dragon aspect, right?
As I was saying.
Okay.
Jesus.
You see the
evil
mage hand just
dragons
slowly close the book, and then his staff
left
appears,
thanks to Bahamut. You see, Bahamut is the aspect of a dragon.
and he smacks
He
you on
can
top of the head
speak
with
to
the
them.
staff, Frederick. And he goes, "Quiet."
Okay.
I'm gonna roll for him. I'm gonna see if he hits you. Let's see. He's a -1 to hit. He got a 16. I don't know if that'll hit you.
That will hit.
That'll hit. Okay. So he hits you with the staff. Like, stop. We know Bahamut, but Bahamut's a dragon. And then he makes the staff go away. Are we staying here? Are we really going out into the darkness?
We gotta go again.
Let's get this over with.
I'm standing up with like the blanket wrapped around me. Like full cocoon.
Okay, Cedric's gonna kind of go.
Worry not, Bahamut is with us.
Cedric just looks at Frederick, looks at the rest of you, and goes, "I'm going in the bag." And then he just kind of, it's like a cat trying to wiggle his way into the bag. Like he makes the mage hand come out and hold it open for him just enough so he wiggles his way in and then disappears.
Can I go in the bag?
I mean, you technically fit in the bag. You were in the bag before.
Well, Camilla, I'm planning to just throw Seven out of the bag once we're there. So unless you want to be thrown out of bag.
I just wrap the blanket around myself tighter. And just like shuffle towards the door.
Hey, the blanket's a safe space. I totally get it.
It is. The shadow monsters can't get me here.
Yes, I like it. I like it. All right. Well, so you guys gonna get some breakfast and all that jazz?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I suppose so.
No, I can't eat before this. I'm too scared.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a lot of water.
A lot of water.
A
Okay.
lot
That's
of
crazy. I
water.
don't know why you would need that.
Rehydrate.
Yeah, probably a good idea with all the booze. You know, you only had like 6 shots, but it was enough to make you. You're like, that was a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty fucking strong.
Yeah.
Just
All
a
right.
little bit.
Well, so you guys go down. You meet there's 2 people that you meet that you hadn't met before, or at least Calamities that you met one of them briefly. It was there's a halfling woman. She introduced herself as Mara is her name, and she is the barmaid and the housemaid. There's another woman by the name of Gilda who is the innkeeper's wife, and she is also the barmaid maid. They share the job. But both of them introduce themselves to you. Again, the Mara is a halfling. She's in her mid-20s. And then the Gilda, she is in her like maybe early 30s. Doesn't have any, like, her hair is like starting to see strands of gray in her hair a little bit. But you do all kind of notice that she's picks up a mug, and she kind of moves her finger like she's casting magic. And you notice and watch as the mug cleans itself. She's casting some kind of prestidigitation to clean things for it. But they ask what you want, and they get your breakfast: some fresh bread, some bacon and eggs if you want it, some stew.
A pint of ale, please.
They get you a pint of ale. It's one
Heard
free
the dog,
alcoholic
you know.
drink. Anything else for you there? They do have this amazing thing called coffee.
Now I'd rather get my blood pumping with a good pint of ale.
Okay. Fine enough.
I'm gonna look at them and just be like, tea.
Tea it is. We bring you over a steaming cup of tea.
I'm just gonna nod at them, sort of grunt like,
So the barmaid, the Gilda, she's human, but she kind of looks at you, Calamities, and she goes, "Rough night." Okay, well, she kind of pats you on the back. Well, I hope you feel better. If you need anything, let us know. Anything else for the rest of you?
Yes, I will have 10 eggs.
Okay.
All of them over easy.
Okay. So Gilda
And
kind
a glass of orange juice.
Okay. Gilda kind of goes, just the eggs and the orange juice?
Oh, should I order more?
No, that'll be fine. I will
More
let the cook
eggs?
know. And she kind of walks to the back, and you hear her voice go, "Boyd, we need eggs!" And then you hear some shuffling in the background as the cook.
so many eggs.
So many eggs. So many.
Get more pants out!
Yeah. So you see Gilda come back out after a minute. And she goes, "It'll be a few minutes, dear." And then the innkeeper kind of comes around the corner and he goes, "Gilda, where's my book? I was reading it last night. Have you seen it?" She goes, "Oh, which book, dear?" It was that history book I started. She goes, You probably put it under the counter. You keep doing that." He's like, "No, I looked there. I don't know where I put it. I'll find it." And then he walks into the back again.
Frederick just sighs and goes back to the room to get the tome.
How dare you take Severin's stolen book? That's his book that he stole. What are you going to do with it, Frederick, when you bring the book?
Oh, I'm just gonna return it.
Okay. So, like, the Pellin's in the back, like, looking in somewhere in their office or whatever.
Like, oh, is this what you're looking for?
So Gilda kind of goes, well, walks over and takes it, and she goes, "Oh, well, where'd you find this?"
Oh, it was right by the counter.
Oh, well, thank you. I will let my husband know. He probably knocked it over the edge last night and didn't even realize it. That man sometimes, as much as he says he was good in the when he was in the army, he is sometimes forgetful. So thank you very much. And she walks in the back. She goes, "Pellin, I've got it right here." All right, well,
If anyone ordered any bacon, I'm gonna attempt to swipe it.
they gave you
Yeah,
a
I'm
big.
not even gonna eat it.
Frederick's totally got bacon.
They gave you bacon for sure.
I'm gonna attempt to swipe it.
Okay, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
30.
Oh my
Does a
god!
30 do it?
My...
You can swipe as
Jesus.
much as you want.
Yeah,
Oh,
Frederick, I want you to make just a
Christ.
perception check.
So there's no longer a table.
Well, that's a 10, so there's no longer a table. Maybe no more chair for me.
You're just sitting on the floor. Just suddenly.
Good
So
God.
here's how it happens then, Camilla. So it's a different woman. It's the halfling woman. Mara comes out with a plate of bacon and the food, and she puts it on the table. And Frederick, you're like talking to Gilda as you're giving him the book. You go to sit down, and Camilla, like, you see the plate of bacon in front of you, and Camilla moves your chair back, so you fall flat on your ass. You're like, "Oh my god, my chair was there!" Like, and you look up, and you're like, "Who moved my chair?" And then you look over at the table, and the plate of bacon is gone, and you see the woman Mara walking back into the kitchen with a plate in her hand, and you think that she just took the bacon back.
Hey, I was gonna eat that! I get back up and I just walk towards the halfling woman Mara.
Okay, she just kind of looks over her shoulder, and she goes, "Eat what? There's nothing here. What are you eating?" She kind of just looks at you like, "I put it on the table."
I just stare at her like dumbfounded, like what? But wait, no. So that's not my plate of bacon.
She turns and looks at you, and she goes, "No, I put it on the table for you, right in front of you."
Oh, well, excuse me then. I'm sorry. I go back to the table to like double check.
Okay, she walks into the kitchen and comes back up like a minute later with no plate. She's, goes about to another table to meet somebody else to talk to them for a meal. But yeah, there's no bacon on the table. There's no plate.
I'm just holding it under the blanket. This is my emotional support sleight of hand.
Emotional support bacon.
Where's my
It's-
bacon?
it's
I
warm,
need
I'll
it
just hold it.
for my cure for my hangover.
So how many slices of bacon are on this plate for you, Camilla, that you stole?
Probably like 30.
Okay.
But then when Frederick asks, I'll just slide it back onto the table.
Okay. This is thick cut bacon too. This is like that, like, I don't have a way to make that thin bacon. I'm just cutting it right off the,
This is just ham.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
Canadian
much.
bacon.
Yeah, exactly.
So what you're telling me is like Camilla's holding a whole Camilla worth of bacon.
Pretty much. Mm.
I drop it on the table. Just thuds.
Jesus.
It's the only reason I gave it back. It was too heavy. I have a -1 to strength.
If you had come back, I'm just like, ah, yes!
It reappeared. It's magic.
Thank
Camilla's just
Muhammad!
like, yeah, I was gonna say, it's another Bahamut's blessings.
Go Bahamut. Blessing of bacon. That needs to be a spell. Bahamut's blessing of bacon, and it just pours bacon out of the sky.
So yeah, Frederick's special remedy for a hangover is bacon and a pint of ale.
Okay. Interesting. We'll take it, though.
Salt and more alcohol.
Yeah. That's really going to keep you hydrated.
It does not keep you hydrated. However, it does reduce the headache. I swear, I've done it several times.
Well, it's because you're putting more alcohol into your blood, and you're putting
Exactly.
greasy food, which will absorb the alcohol.
Exactly.
If you slow down your blood enough,
Yeah.
it can't get to your brain to cause the headache.
You might as well just take your blood out. Who needs blood?
Yeah, might as well just get a bleeding.
Yeah. I'm going to bleed myself. There you go. Okay. Well, so
True
after
medieval
that,
healer.
you guys collect your things. And
And my blanket.
your blanket. Definitely the blanket. And you guys head out. Are you guys going to go looking for another shadowy location?
Absolutely.
Frederick's
We need to
excited
solve
about
that
this.
as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
get it over with.
Get it over with. Okay, so before I forget, I didn't get a chance to tell Branch this, and I'm going to say you guys go past this shop again, just because it's fun. So Branch, you walk by this magic shop, and it's kind of got this like makeshift sign of just randomly carved letters painted in different colors, and it's titled Fidgety Black's Marvelous House of Wondrous Trinkets and Spells.
Ah, so a delightful name.
You say marvelous house of wonderful trinkets.
Yeah. So it's Fidgety Black's Marvelous House of Wondrous Trinkets and Spells.
I almost had that right in my notes.
I'll put the full spelling in the Discord for you guys. There you
I had Fidgety Black's wonderful house of marvelous trinkets and spells.
go. I mean, that's fair. It could be either or. Not quite the neon signs, glowing and blinking above it yet, but close. Could be,
Yeah.
because magic and all that.
I'm going to signal interest in going into the shop before we delve into our next source of trauma.
I'll just follow him in.
Okay. So you guys walk on in to Fidgety's Market. And you walk in, and you've been to other magic shops in the Empire. They're usually pretty small. Nothing really fancy. Magic is still pretty rare, pretty expensive on the outskirts, unless if you're getting away from like the major cities like Evanstal or Dawnwick. It's kind of hard to come by. But this place, you walk in, and it's just a smorgasbord of all kinds of crazy, weird, magical things. It's like walking into a toy, like those KB toy stores. There's like up above, there's like a little train that's going around puffing out smoke. And the puffs of smoke are a different color every time. And it just goes choo choo. And you're like, what the heck? And then there's like, you walk in a couple of feet, and then this airplane like creature. It's like one of those Da Vinci bat wing things, just flies over your head. You're like, oh my God. And then there's another spot off to the side. There's a bunch of wands, or looks like wands. and they're just sticking out of a small little like keg barrel. So it's like 6 inches tall, and the wands are sticking out. And every now and then there's one that just sparks for it there, just randomly. There's clothing, like fabric on the walls, like in robes and various clothing, and there's price tags on them. There's books in a section, just kind of all kinds of books shelves. There's like a bulletin board of sorts towards the back, like near the back counter. And above it, it says available scrolls, and it's got this big sideways handwritten mark like thing on it, like somebody hastily put it there. And then it's got a bunch of list of scrolls that are available. And then there's display cases that have rings and amulets and trinkets and all kinds of stuff inside of it. But as you walk in, there's a ting from the doorbell that you hear. But that's what you see at the moment. There's nobody obviously in here, like when you step dressed right inside the door.
I'm investigating those display cases like my life depends on it.
Okay. So you have to walk pretty far in, like to the other side of the room. But as you do, you start to walk up, and you're like, there's nobody around. You're kind of looking around. It's just this magical, like, neon stuff. Like, it's like everything's flashing around you. You're like, what the hell? This place is going to explode or something. And then just as you look down at the counter, this 7-foot tall female furbolg with a squished kind of bull nose, big brown eyes, and long black hair just pops up right from behind there. And she goes, "Oh, good morning! How are you?" She just kind of looks at you, Calamity's big old smile on her face.
Fine.
Ah, you don't seem fine. You know what you need? You need to
Fine.
smile more today. I've got something for that. Hold on 1 second. And then she kind of leans over and rummages through some stuff, and she pulls up. She goes, here it is. She pulls out a wand, and she goes, smile. And she points the wand at you, and it's a wand to smile. So roll, I think it's a wisdom save. Double check.
Jesus. 7.
Okay. Let me double check. Oh, it's a charisma save, so 7.
Wow.
So you just kind of
Charisma
like
save.
look
It's
at her.
19. Fun fact.
Okay. And as the wand, like the spell hits you, and you just kind of go, okay. She goes, well, usually that works. Maybe this one's broken. She starts smacking it in her hand. And she tries it again, and of course the spell just fails on you. And she's like, well, maybe on... Boom! And she points it at you, Branch, and she does it. So go ahead and do a charisma save, Branch.
I'm just like, you broke it.
That's a 15.
Okay. You resist it too. Like the spell just kind of washes over you, and you're like, what the heck was that? And she goes, well, that one must be broken. Oh well. And she just throws it over her shoulder. And just as you see it fly up into the air, it just kind of like tilts over itself. And then right before it hits the ground, it just goes poof, and disappears. She goes, I'll have to fix it later.
Oh my
But
God,
what brings you in today?
too?
What can I do for you? Name's Fidgety, by the way.
That makes sense.
I would never have guessed.
Oh, wow. You'd be surprised who doesn't guess that well at that. But yep.
Anyways, what did we walk here at again?
I don't know. You tell me.
Allocate. Calamities.
What's in the cases?
So a variety of different objects. So is there anything like... Are you looking for like an amulet, a ring, any like a wand?
Well, if you know what all's there, I'm looking for just a quick rundown of what all's
Oh my gosh, a quick rundown.
there. But wand probably does not interest me so much.
Okay, so I will say that she has Shoot, I did not make an official list, and I probably should have, but
That's also fine.
I
never
can.
did.
So for this list, for this one, the case you're looking at, we'll say it's amulets at the moment. So there is. So there are 3 amulets for sure. There is one that's on a golden chain, and it's maybe about 2 inches in diameter. It's made of gold, and it has a pair of hands that are open with a sun in between them. And the card beneath it says Amulet of Health. Then next to it looks to be an eye-shaped amulet, and it's on a silver chain. And there's the arcane symbol with a closed eye for detection. But underneath it, it says Amulet of Proof Against Detection. And there's a little note underneath it, and it says, "Make it so no one can find you." And then the other one is... she wouldn't have asked too much. So the other one is going to be there's a note for it underneath it, but it's on a metal silver chain, and it's almost looks like a miniature shield. It's a silver steel band, and in the center there's a piece of wood. In the center where the wood is, there seems to be a picture of some kind of wolf. It looks very old, but it lists for the placard, it says Shield Guardian Amulet. And then there's a little asterisk that says does not include Guardian.
Does not include Guardian. That's funny.
Yeah, so those are the 3. I mean, she sees you looking, and she goes, "Oh, are you interested in those? They're quite valuable. I made 2 of them myself."
Against detection.
I'm sorry, you do what?
I'm just gonna look at her and be like, "How much for proof against detection?"
She goes, "Oh well, so that one's not too much. So let me pull up the chart for gold value." Actually, I'll just tell you. She just says that it'll be 75 gold for that one. It's probably not the right price, but that's what I'm gonna sell it for.
That's fair. What about Amulet of Health?
She goes, "Oh, that one's pretty rare. It took a lot of work to make that one. I even had to use a drop of my own blood. Oof, let me tell you." And she kind of holds up a hand. And there's not like any cuts or anything on her hand, but she's like, "I had to prick my fingers quite a few times for this one. But the end result's so worth it. You'll love it. For 500 gold, though. Trust me, worth it."
Alright. Having that in mind, I would like to look at rings and trinkets.
Okay. Let me make sure I write these down so I don't forget what we said is here. So if you want to come back and get them, you can.
I've also got a doc going for it, but
okay.
yeah.
Well, then I will let you document this, and I will get the notes from you later. All right, for rings. Let's see. She does have a ring of protection, which is normal. You've seen it. It's a circular ring. It looks like made of steel. There's a shield embedded on the front of it. That is pretty much be like just +1 to AC. She tells you it's pretty common. She makes those regularly. Makes usually about 2 or 3 a year. There is another ring, which is like a bronze wooden. It looks wood on the outside, and it bronze in the inside, but there are depictions of animals all around it. She tells you it's a ring of animal influence. The one that she is the most proud of, though, and she points to it, is, and there's different ones, but they all look same kind of design. They're in the same kind of ring display. This one that you're looking at initially is gold, and it looks like it's flames wrapped around. It looks like an amethyst that sparkles. She tells you that one specifically is a ring of fire resistance. There is a ring made of pure jade, and in the center is an emerald. Kind of think like Green Lantern style, except it's a silver, or jade band. But she tells you that one is resistant to poison in the center. And then she has one that looks like it almost looks like thorns, but as you kind of like, she pulls it out and shows it to you. There's a spindle in the middle for it, and you realize they're not thorns, but they're lightning bolts in it. And she says, I have two different ones that look the same design, two different gems. There's one that's a citrine and one that's a spindle. The spindle is thunder resistance, and the citrine is lightning resistance. And those are the ones she has. She can make other ones, but she is on a backlog of those, so it'll probably take about a year. And then she says especially with the war going on, one of her, or some of her most valuable one that she gets the most requests for currently is a ring of spell storing. She has one left, but it is rather expensive because of the war going on.
It's rather expensive because it's a little bit wild.
Yeah. Let's see. And then she does have a couple rings of warmth. She says she purchased them off some dwarves. Doesn't really do much here, but she's had them for a while. Otherwise, she has a single ring of water walking, which is just a silver, it's almost let me say it's silver band, with what looks to be blue gems. She tells you it's actually a blue, the blue gem is actually embedded into it, and the silver is overlaid with it, but it looks like waves. But it'll let you walk on water or any kind of liquid surface.
All right, and any fun trinkets?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
So she has. Let's see. She definitely has one, which will be fun. So let me actually do this one. Okay, so first off, she... Shit, I gotta change the thing. So this one is what looks to be... so it's a long... It's maybe about... I'd say maybe 2.5 feet long. It's a single piece of metal, it looks like. And it looks to be made of steel. She actually pulls it out of the case for it. And on both ends, there is actually looks like 2 unicorns, so one on each end. And it looks like their hooves are raised up for it. But she says this rod here is known as an immovable rod, and she kind of holds it up in the air.
Oh my god.
Clicks a button and then lets go, and it just floats there. And she's like, that's all it does. It doesn't move. And she grabs it and pulls on it. Doesn't move, clicks the button, and then it moves again.
I nudge Calamities on the leg, and I'm like, don't break this one.
So that's the only...
broke the other one she showed us.
So that's the only rod she has.
How much weight can that thing hold?
So she tells you it can hold more than you can hold. She says, I've tested it for about 5,000 pounds, and it hasn't moved. So she's
Yeah, I
looking
don't- I
more,
don't think I'm
probably.
breaking that, Camilla.
So then she also does have she has other kind of small trinkets, which there are a lot of. So for the smaller trinkets, I would say anything kind of into the wondrous items that sounds interesting to you, she might have. She has several bags of holdings, which are kind of off to the side. Beads of refreshment.
Well,
She does have a couple of
I have
Bloodwell
some
vials
prices
as
to
well.
inquire about. Oh.
Yeah, so what do you want to inquire about?
All right. First up, immovable rod.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. I gotta pull the book up for this for sure. Alright, so the immovable rod, it says it's an uncommon item. Oh my gosh. So she says it's unique, one of a kind for her. So she's going to charge you 500 gold for it.
Okay. And next question. Ring of spell storing.
Okay. Just, if I remember right. Oops. She does look at you and she goes, it's really hard to come by, especially with the war. It's pricey. She kind of looks you up and down a little bit and she goes, I don't know if you can afford it, but it'd be 5,000 gold. I don't usually charge that much, but like I said, the war and the armies are grabbing up everything they can.
Well, perhaps we'll be able to afford it in the future. But
Well,
what about the Ring of Water walking?
It's the Ring of Water walk. So that one, she kind of looks at you and she goes, "Oh, that one's not too much. I could part with it for 50 gold."
And finally, the Ring of Protection.
So these ones, she tells you, are definitely much more common now with the war going on. They're not too incredibly difficult to produce, especially since the demand is so high. She tells you that for this particular one, it'd be 550 gold.
And how many rings of protection does she have again?
She has 2.
Okay. Alright. 550 gold. I will update the message that I sent into Magic Items chat.
Look at all that.
Those are the questions that I had. I don't know if anybody else wanted to look into anything.
I think Branch is gonna save some money.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's been spending it left and right for a while now.
Camilla's gonna try and cheer up Calamities and slide him her coin purse.
Oh, how much money is that?
Because shiny things make Camilla happy, so maybe this will buying new shiny things will make Camilla happy.
How much money's in your coin purse?
Here, I'll just send you a screenshot.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, a little bit.
Just a smidgen?
Just a smidgen. Alright, I gotta do some math here. Okay. I'm gonna nudge Camilla and be like, I'm gonna need you to do some talking for me.
Ooh, some haggling.
Thumbs up from under the blanket.
So I'm gonna
Write
say
you a
that she
list.
finally notices you, Camilla, when you slide the money across, and she goes, looks at you, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, dear, I didn't see you down there." And she goes, "Oh, you're so adorable." Oh, she kind of looks at you with the blanket, and she goes, "Oh, is that your safety blanket? Do you feel comfortable there?"
I just nod
Huh.
really fast.
She kind of goes, "Oh, that's so adorable." She kind of reaches over the counter. This woman's 7 feet tall, mind you. And she kind of just pats you on the head. And she goes, "Well, maybe this will help." And she kind of snaps her fingers, and you feel the shiver go over you. And you're like, "Ah, what was that?" And then you look down, and you're gone. You're like, "Wait, where'd I go? Where'd I go?" And for the next hour, you're invisible.
Jesus.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna write this list then for Camilla.
Okay.
Camilla, I'm passing you a list. It says Amulet of Health, Proof Against Detection, 1 Ring of Protection, Ring of Water Walking, and a Movable Rod. Haggle for 1,400 gold, go up to 1,500 on resistance.
Okie dokie.
I'm just gonna note on the bulk price question mark on the
Okay.
buy list.
So we'll start at the top of the list. What do you guys want first?
I was saying, like, we have the money to buy all those things, even if she doesn't come down on price. I was just saying, like, make it known that we want all of these things at once and try to haggle for, like, a better bulk price on all of them. Just
Oh,
make
okay.
it
I
faster.
get it. So kind of like, I'm going to buy in bulk, give me a discount kind of thing.
Yeah, can I get a bulk discount?
Okay. Yeah, so Camilla, so the way the invisibility works for you, by the way, for Camilla, so as long as you are wrapped in the blanket, you're invisible. You take the blanket off, you're not invisible anymore. You put it back on, you're invisible. It only lasts for an hour. But if you want to try and haggle her down, go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Okie dokie. Where is... There it is. No!
Oh,
That's
14.
a 14.
All right, I'm going to roll for her.
24.
Oh my god.
Let's see. I'll say she gets at 14 as well.
Oh, shoot.
So you guys,
Not a
she
tie.
kind of goes back and forth, and you like kind of. I'll say you put the cloak on and off, like the blanket on and off a little bit. She kind of starts giggling at you, and she goes, "Oh, you're so adorable." And she kind of. So the whole price. What was the total price, Calamity, since you wrote it down?
I put it into session chat. It's 1675
Okay.
face value.
So she'll go down to 1,500.
Okay. We anchored her at 1,400 and got her to come down to 1,500. The plan worked.
So you want to spend
Okay.
1,500 gold and get all those items?
Absolutely.
Okay, mark it off.
I'm marking it up as we speak. I'm just gonna do math. But I'll do the math.
And then
Sure.
keep them in the list that you had there in the magic items. Just put a strike through on it so we know they're gone.
Gotcha. Let's see here. Divide that by 2. Camilla, you have 221 gold when I give you back your pouch.
You guys have an
That's-
immovable rod now. Oh my gosh.
A lot more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
200
think.
and...
I split the remainder between us. What were you saying, Camilla?
Just 200 even, or
221.
221? Heck yeah.
And meta question, Friedrich, how's your constitution?
I have 14 to Constitution.
Okay, I'm still gonna hand you the Amulet of Health since you're up front most. I'm just gonna like drop it into your hands. Just be like, Merry Christmas.
Merry
I'm gonna be
Christmas.
like,
Put this on.
What is this? Christmas? Sounds like some pagan holiday.
Merry Bahamutmas.
Actually, go ahead and roll. All of you, go ahead and roll a history check. It's gonna be a high roll.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 20.
Oh
I got a
shit!
21.
I got a 20, dirty 20.
Oh shit!
We got a 20, 21,
Holy fuck.
21.
This
Oh yeah,
sucks.
Branch got the nat 22.
We all know about Christmas.
Wow.
And joy.
Okay, so
merriment.
you say Merry
Christmas?
Christmas or like how I pronounced it before, Christmas, I think it was, or Christmas or whatever it was.
Yeah, I
the
don't
mispronouncing. And Frederick goes, "What is this?" And then you go, "Oh, you're giving me that weird elf custom thing to the north." So you have all heard. Apparently, you've all heard of this town and their weird holidays. Like, holy fuck! I was not expecting that.
Yeah, only when it's silly things like this, not when our lives depend on it.
Right?
Exactly.
Oh. I mean,
You know,
those
I've
characters
even
are
heard
in this
there's
world,
this,
so
heretical bunch up there. The leader is someone by the name of the Krampus, I think.
yeah, I would say you know that with a 20. Jesus.
I mean, of course, I know about the heretics. I don't care about the rest.
If they're not a heretic, I don't care about them.
Like, Frederick's got, like, a list written down of people that needs to get murdered.
Well,
of
apparently you're going to
Bahamut.
go and murder an entire village of people.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
What is
God.
wrong with you, sir? What is wrong?
Alright,
I was
yeah, I'll just-
talking about the Krampus, but sure.
Jesus. Yeah, no, that's fair. It's kind of horrifying.
Yeah, Fall Bella was the name of the holiday.
Oh, wow.
That was the name of the holiday. And yeah, Krampus was the bad guy, was the evil one for sure.
Oh yeah. Anyways, Calamities, what item was it again that you
The
gave me?
Amulet of Health
Amulet of Health. All right.
Mhm.
should be pretty handy.
Yeah, should be.
You're going to get a boost to some hit points, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely. It's gonna be 19 instead of 14 in my Constitution.
Yup.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Good luck getting hungover ever again.
Well, you can still get hungover. That's not going to change.
Let's just take the amulet off.
I don't need me newer.
Start drinking with the amulet on and take it off.
Yes, you do have to attune to the amulet, which I mean, you guys can totally do here. I'm not going to be picky about it.
All right. Oh damn, my health just jumped from 45 to 57.
Yup.
It's a big
Oh,
jump.
wow.
Oh damn. Your rolls were not doing good on the HP, huh?
No, really not.
Yeah, I was sitting at 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got a few
I've been rolling
ones.
good though. So
I mean, you almost have as many hit points as Branch now. Branch has 61.
holy shit,
Yeah, Branch has been
I've
rolling
been high
damn,
rolling.
very well.
those
on my
rolls.
HP.
High rolling, and he's got a high constitution anyways.
Oh yeah, that too.
Well, how high is the Constitution? Like a 16?
I think it's 18.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's not surprising anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are all around the same, roughly around the same health. I mean, except for Branch.
And now we have 2 bands of HP.
Yeah.
The rogues and the not rogues.
The ones that should have HP and the ones that should not have as much HP. All right, so who's getting the immovable rod and all that stuff?
I will allow the immovable rod to go to whoever. You know what? I'm gonna give it to
I'm gonna
Camilla.
try and move it.
Just Camilla seemed interested in it.
Frederick starts using it to do pull-ups.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
hell
one
yeah.
use.
It definitely could be
I'm
used
gonna
that
use
way.
it to like train. Be like,
You know what he
Yeah,
needs to do is he's gonna put it like on, like he's gonna try and bench press it is what it is, and he's just gonna put it on front of his
Exactly.
chest and then push up, and he can't move it.
I would give the immovable rod
so I'm just
to
gonna be
Camilla.
stuck.
So if you would add it to your character sheet, Camilla, I've handed it to you.
Oh my god.
Otherwise, I'm just hanging on to the rest of the purchases.
Okay.
Responsibility.
Yes, the description of the rod doesn't give a whole lot of details, but essentially it's got a button on it. It's about 2.5, 3 feet long. You push the button and it doesn't move.
I just like that the ring of water walking doesn't require attunement.
Yeah, there's a lot of rings that don't. So I will say this. So this is something I've created. I don't know why they're not in the game. It's kind of a little weird. But pretty much any cantrip that's in the game, you can buy as a ring. Those are the most
That makes
common
sense.
ones you want.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think one of the ones I put on D&D Beyond at one point, just like for public use, was Ring of Mage Hand, and people were like, "This is great." I'm like, it's just a ring of Mage Hand. Like,
Yeah, like what?
yeah, it's a cantrip spell. Like, okay,
It's a ring, and it does a cantrip.
yeah,
I mean, people just really like mage hand, so being able to have it on classes that don't normally get it probably just makes them happy.
yeah, that's true. Plus, if you had it or you get it and you wanted to be you're a wizard and you're like, I don't want to use that as a cantrip slot,
Right,
you
yeah.
can totally pick something else.
Or like, say if you're a floating skull.
Yes. But he doesn't have hands.
Where's he gonna wear? Yeah, where's he gonna
He
wear the
can
ring?
put it in his eye hole.
Wait, he'll put it on the staff.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Speaking of staffs, maybe the movable staffs should be Severance.
But why?
That's
It
up to
would be
Camilla
funny.
now.
He's got 2 staffs.
He wouldn't be able to use them
Exactly.
Camilla's 500 gold bought that rod.
both. All
Fair
Wait,
enough.
hers.
if he can cast Mage Hand, and then he has the Ring of Mage Hand at the same time too, then he can have 2 sets of Mage Hand.
So you're saying use Mage Hand to put the ring on, and then use the ring from the
Put the
Mage
ring
Hand
on
to
a
cast
mage
another
hand,
Mage
yeah.
Hand.
Yes, and
So-
then have
And
two
then you get
hands.
another ring of Mage Hand.
So what I'm hearing is we're
All the
building
other Mage
Severin a
Hand.
body out of magical items.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have
It's
Severus
our
have
Frankenstein.
like 10 Mage
He's
Hands at the same
Gale.
time.
He is definitely going to be a Frankenstein version of Gale here. Oh my god.
Except instead of just being like, I need these magic items, and I can't tell you why. We're like, you need these magic items, Severin, so that you can have a body. It's just like, okay.
Give him. So he just needs
Yeah,
to get
at least
a.
He's not eating them.
Yeah, he needs to get like a physical body so that you can give him a belt of dwarven kind. So then he will grow a beard and be the floating skull with a
Oh
beard.
shit, you're right.
There you go. And then he needs a wizard hat, of course.
Of course, of course.
Yes. Man, he's gonna be so decked out in magical items. People are gonna be like, "Who are you?" I am Severin, the floating skull. And you're like, "But you have a body. What?"
Why do you have so much drip though?
Yes. Oh.
All right, my My shopping trip is over.
Okay.
Unless anybody wants something else from the store.
So one thing I would like to remind you all, and this is just a reminder, you don't have to get anything if you don't want to. So scrolls can be used by anyone of any class. So it doesn't matter if you can cast a spell or not. So in my world, if you're a fighter and you want to cast a scroll spell, you can. It's just an Arcana check. If you have proficiency in Arcana, you roll with advantage. But it is 8 plus the spell level to cast the spell. But you can do, like, there are cleric spells for this, so you can get, like, heal scrolls if you want, like, any kind of arcane. I would say she has anything that's like a first level spell. Even cleric spells are like divine spells. Laundry's done. But yeah.
Add that to the list then.
Otherwise, if you don't have anything else, we'll go ahead and move on.
Yeah, I think it's time to get
That's
spooky.
it from me.
Time to get spooky. Okay. Well, getting spooky here. Quote Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous. Okay. So you guys take your items. Camilla, you're kind of bouncing up and down with the cloak or the blanket. At this point, it's got maybe about half an hour left for it. As you leave, Fidgety she goes, well, thank you. Be sure to come back again. Don't forget me. And she kind of just waves to you, all excited. Same happy smile. But I want everyone go ahead and make a... I don't want to make it a perception. It's pretty obvious where these people, where like the darkness stuff is. Make a survival check for me, everybody.
All right.
Neutral roll. Neutral 9.
23.
7.
Ooh, Camilla with the 23.
Thank fuck we got Camilla.
Okay. So you guys head out of town. And again, you head out a different exit. We'll say you guys head out of the north exit or the northeastern entrance or exit. And it's the same kind of thing. So Brent, you didn't get to experience this, but they've told you about it, or Severin would have told you about this. So as you were aware, when you guys walked into town, you guys walked through those shanty towns. And there was that definitely sense of darkness, apathy, void, like there was nothing worth living for. But then when you got out of it, there was about 100-foot gap between that and the city walls, which is where the guards kind of came up and were like, hey, you want to come into the city, you got to pay for it. So this, when you guys got rid of the shadows and the darkness, that feeling went away from that area. So there's no more feeling of a border or some kind of magical aura. When you guys step out of this gate, the guards remind you, hey, if you want to come back in, you have to show your gems for you, just like they did previously. But you can see in front of you, it's daytime, it's summer, or summertime, but there's definitely an oppressive, like you look at it and you can see it now. It's almost like all of the light from the sun is looking through a cloudy, hazy day, even though there's no clouds in the sky. When you look at that area, and as you kind of pass over the invisible barrier, you all kind of shiver and instantly feel that same sense of apathy, of depression, of despair for it.
Oh.
Camilla, kind of with her bundling up even more on the cloak or the blanket, disappears. So you guys can't see her. But Camilla, you if you want to kind of grab them and bring them a little bit, you lead them a little bit further into this oppressive darkness for it. I want everyone to go ahead and make a wisdom save for me here. It's not going to be difficult.
Nat 20.
11.
Okay.
14.
You're all fine. You kind of know what you're getting into here, so you feel that oppressive feeling, and you kind of brush it off. Frederick, though, you hear a voice somewhere in the back of your head briefly. You don't hear it clear enough to understand what it was. You kind of brush it off, but it is that moment where you kind of feel like somebody is talking behind you, and you look behind you, and there's just your friends are behind you. Okay. But Frederick, go ahead and roll a perception check for me here.
A perception check, sure.
Yep, you got it.
That's 13.
Okay. So you kind of follow where you think the voice was coming from, and it leads you guys in a little bit further into the shanty town. The same kind of thing, though, you notice of the people. There are people just kind of sitting on the ground or on benches. They're just kind of standing, looking at the wall, not really doing anything with their lives. Some of them just seem to like they've collapsed and they're just waiting to die. Again, there's no sounds. There's no animals crying. There's no babies crying. There's no animals baying. There's no noise. It smells slightly of burnt wood and death. It smells like rotted death, like a corpse that's been left out in the sun for several days, and it's getting stronger the further you go. Somebody else go ahead and roll a perception check for me here.
I will go ahead and... Oh, wait, Fred. There we go.
Well, Branch, you can roll.
7.
7. Okay. So after a couple minutes, you seem to wander away from the group a little bit, but the smell is getting weaker. And you kind of turn around and you're like, wait, shit! I rounded a corner and everybody's gone. Where'd everybody go? So you're by yourself at the moment. Camilla, go ahead and roll a perception check for me here.
13.
Okay. So you managed to stick around with at least Frederick for the moment. He seems to be leading it. You guys are kind of walking side by side towards the smoke that's filled the air. And since it's a shanty town, like there's like pieces of wood and like random pieces of metal that are kind of built over and creating a shade. And it's giving this much more of a darkness vibe to it. Frederick, specifically, I want you to roll another wisdom save for me here.
All right. That is a 10.
Okay. You hear that same voice as before, but this time it sounds a little familiar. You swear for the briefest moment that it's a voice you heard from when you were growing up at the temple. You look around and there's nobody talking. Nobody saying a word. Calamities, go ahead and roll a perception check for me as well.
Was it 21?
Okay. So you see Frederick kind of looking around like something's going on, and you instantly know something is wrong going on with him. Camilla is just kind of like disappearing, reappearing with the cloak a little bit, but you manage to keep up with the two of them. You look around and realize Branch is gone now. You have no idea where he went.
Okay, well,
he was behind
go
you,
to Branch,
and now he's gone.
before I try to find Branch, I'm gonna sprint up to Frederick and be like, Frederick,
What is it?
do you hear it?
I mean,
A voice from
I
your
heard
past,
a voice.
Frederick, did you hear it?
Yes.
Frederick, you need to listen to me. It's not real. No matter what it says, no matter what it tries to make you feel, that voice is not real.
All right. Oh, it's those heretics, is it?
I want to have Frederick go ahead and roll another wisdom save.
That's a 23.
Okay. You are fine. You feel something pushing against your mind. And you resist. As, Calamities is here telling you it's not real, it's a lie. And the pressure on your mind seems to intensify briefly and then vanishes as you push it away. All right.
I think this hangover is still calling me.
Damn that alcohol.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna tell Camilla. I'll be like, Camilla, keep a close eye on him. This is how it started for me. I'm gonna go try to find Branch.
Okay. Branch, go ahead and roll a perception check for me here.
This is an 8.
Okay. You wander around another corner. I want you to make a wisdom save for me too.
This is a 9.
9. You round the corner and come to a dead end, and it's just darkness there in front of you. It's the middle of the day, and it should be not this dark. You go to turn around and jump back, and you're like, oh shit. And there's a giant black spider that lunges at you for a brief moment, and you kind of throw up your hands, panting, and nothing happens. And you open your eyes, and it's just darkness. You are frightened and are starting to hyperventilate in fear.
Man, what was in that orange juice this morning?
So Calamities, how are you trying to find Branch?
I suppose just retracing the way we went.
Okay.
Yeah, that's most of it. I'm not terribly good at tracking footsteps or anything like that.
Well, that's okay. Go ahead and make a survival check.
14.
Okay. Plenty high. You walk away from Camilla kind of jogging back the way you came, come to a crossroads and hear what sounds like something hitting a wall, which is actually Branch slamming into the back of a building. You run around the corner and he just kind of looks at you, his hands trembling, fear in his eyes, and he says the comment about the orange juice.
I'm gonna run up and slap him.
Okay. I want to have you go ahead and make an attack roll.
Okie dokie. It's a nat 1.
Nat 1. Roll a d20.
If you slap yourself, it's gonna be so funny.
It's another nat 1.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay. So
It's okay.
it turns into a slap fest. Literally, you run forward and go, Branch! You go to slap him, and his hands are up, and he goes, no! And it slaps like, that girl fight, when they don't know how to fight, they're just slapping their hands. Just back at you, and the two of you are just slapping back and forth. You're like, stop it! He's like, go away, spiders! Go away! And you're going to take, I'll just roll a d6. Let's see how many points of damage you take from, slap fist.
5.
Oh, God. Okay. You finally back away, like blood pouring down your nose, and you're like, God damn it, Branch! Branch, in your mind at the moment, until he says that and backs away, it was another spider, and that's what it looked like when he jumped out at you. And then it forms into him, into Calamities, and you're like, what the fuck?
Branch, are you back? Branch.
I don't know anymore.
This is what it does, Branch. Messes with your mind.
My mind was already messed up to begin with.
You think that now, but it gets so much worse. keep your wits about you. We need to get back to the others.
All right, whatever you say, I'll follow you.
I'm just gonna like grab Branch.
I guess you could
Chalk
call me a
back.
scaredy cat.
Nice. Okay, so Calamities, go ahead and roll another survival check. I'll give you advantage on this one since you're just backtracking.
We'll see if it saves me. Oh, well, that's a nat 20.
Well, you make it back to the rest of them, no problem. Now, Camilla, I want to have you go ahead and roll a perception check for me here.
$13.
Okay. So you're keeping an eye on Frederick right there. He's definitely got his head high. Doesn't seem to act like anything's wrong. You know, maybe a little bit of twitching from like hearing voices. You're not hearing anything, but you do smell the wood smoke, and it seems to be getting a little bit closer. You kind of grab Frederick and lead him that way, and you guys come to. Let me actually pull up the description. So you come to an opening of looks like it would have been a large square. There's no more overhangs anymore, so it's just open space. But even with the open space, there are three things that strike out to you, that especially with the smell. One, there's a well, like a circular well, an opening, and a burnt over, like I don't know what the top, whatever the thing is that covers the well. There's one of those. It's burnt and destroyed. But off to the side, about 10 feet away, is the remains of a large boarding house. It's burnt out and dilapidated, falling apart. It looks like it probably happened maybe a month or so ago. And then off to the side, the other building you can see is the burnt out husk of a large stables that rests nearby. But the smell that you are getting is coming from the buildings.
I don't want to. I guess we should check out the building.
Okay. So Calamities and Branch, right as you guys arrive, you can see Frederick and Camilla kind of heading, like getting to the edge of the buildings. Do you want to go with the stables, or do you want to go to the inn first, or the boarding house? It's up to you, Camilla.
I guess the boarding house.
Okay. So they're you see them kind of walking up to the edge of the building, Calamities and Branch. You guys are about 40 feet away across the square.
Okay, I'm gonna break us out into a full run to catch up with them before we lose sight of them.
Okay. So you guys all of you can make an investigation of the room or of the boarding house.
Yeah.
24.
19.
Oof. Look at those high rolls, except for Camilla. Okay, so as you guys go inside and start to look around, you all kind of notice this. Camilla, you even notice this. You take a step in and then step back immediately, Camilla, and are kind of freaked out. But at your feet is a dead body, a corpse that's been burnt to a crisp. And the part of it kind of crumbles away at your foot, and you kind of jump back like, oh God. As the rest of you search, though, you find over a dozen bodies spread throughout. With your investigation checks, it's not clear if these people died either before the fire or during. But you definitely can confirm that this fire happened a little less than a month ago. It also looks like, since you all rolled really well, so Calamities and Branch, you both can tell that that the fire wasn't put out; it just burned itself out.
This is horrible.
It is. Although, given where we are, I can't really be sure if it's real.
It's true, we never know. But with all the dark magic that has been happening around here, it just might be.
Well, the only way to find out is through, I suppose.
Okay. So it's not difficult for you guys to tell while you're in the boarding house that the darkness is not coming from it.
We'll have to go deeper in.
Okay. So you end up searching for, I'll say, 40 minutes through the ruins. With your roll that you got, I'll just have you give it to you. You do find a warped lockbox.
Oh.
And there's it's easy to open. The lock is damaged from the fire. But inside you find several what would have been leather pouches of coins. The pouches are all ruined, but there is 2 platinum, 134 gold, 312 silver pieces, and 560 copper pieces. You found it not necessarily under the floor. It was buried under some beams. Based on the layout, you think this is probably the stash, like the owner's stash of coin for how they paid for their business.
Gotcha.
Inside the box as well, there's like ruined pieces of paper. That like when you burn paper, it just kind of can still be flimsy and flaky. It's like that. There is a ledger as well, a leather-bound ledger that is burnt. Large portions of it are burnt out. But there are some portions of it in the kind of the center that didn't get burned. There are entries that detailing the purchase of various items for running the boarding house. You see a note about purchasing hay, about purchasing food, wine, ale, repairs to the building, and various payments to staff members. But nothing else of any crazy value.
Okay. Well, money's money.
That it is.
Is everybody ready to proceed deeper in? The only way to find out what really happened here is going to be to dispel this darkness again, and I'm sure you two remember how that went, Friedrich and Camilla.
I do. Not necessarily nice memories.
All right, Frederick, go ahead and make another wisdom save for me here.
That is 14.
Okay. So you resist it again, and you hear the whispers of multitude of voices, kind of a cacophony of voices around you, but you can't define what any of them are. It just sounds like you walked into you're walking through a crowd. You can't make out any of the voices. But you look around and you push it out of your mind and it goes away again. You definitely feel
actually, I didn't even
something
roll the right
pressing
thing,
against
sorry.
your brain.
Wait, I'm not gonna do the reroll. I'm just gonna get the same roll, but without the bonus I give myself. I didn't get 14. I got like 11.
Okay.
Sorry,
You
I was
still
tired, so
succeed
I didn't-
at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. It hasn't quite gotten that powerful yet. But as you guys go ahead and exit the ruins of the boarding house, everyone go ahead and roll a perception check.
All right.
15 on the dot.
Oh my gosh. 8.
That is 17.
Okay, so Branch and Camilla, you unfortunately don't see anything. But Palamides and Frederick, you both kind of move out of the way of the building and step out into the open area. You look towards the ruined stables and are like, the darkness doesn't seem to be getting stronger over there. And you look back and see, and it's almost a trick of the eye, but you can see what looks to be like darkness roiling out of the well.
No.
Well, I hate to
I'm
say it,
gonna
Friedrich, but I think we
carefully
should go over
approach.
to the well.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm gonna start approaching before you even say that.
Okay. So you reach the edge, and with your roll, you realize and see that there's a rope that's been tied to one of the support beams, and that leads down into the well. You look down, and it's almost like looking into a witch's cauldron, like or one of the hag's cauldron would probably be the closest thing you recognize it, as there's just darkness seeming to well up over the edges. It's almost like that. What is it called? Dry ice when you put it there and it just smokes out. It's kind of the same thing. It's almost imperceptible. Like unless you were looking for it, you wouldn't have seen it.
Yay!
You don't suppose we should go down there, right?
I don't really see how there could be something like the spider effigy down there. I sure don't see a spider around here defending it or anything else.
So perhaps we should investigate further. So far we've looked at the boarding house.
Mm-hmm.
Have we checked the stables yet?
You have not.
Well, I'm gonna go towards the stables.
Okay. You definitely feel the presence or the whatever was pushing against your mind grow weaker. But go ahead and make an investigation check.
That's 16.
Okay. So there was enough stables, you can tell from the outlines in the ground. There was stables were large enough to house 20 horses, so it was very large. As you look around, though, you do see the corpses of some horses. Looks like they died here as well. It's difficult to tell if they were how they died. You're just like, okay, there's here.
Are the bodies burnt?
They are, yes.
Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna call back over to Friedrich and be like, I'm gonna go into the well.
Then I'm coming with ya!
and
Also,
I'll call
everyone,
over
you
to the other
might want
two.
to check this link I sent. It might help with whatever's down in the well.
See beneath the well. Ooh, yes.
Ah.
Beneath the well.
Yeah, I'm gonna call the other two also and be like, hey, we shouldn't split up, so I suggest you guys come with.
Did you say we should split up? I think
No.
that's terrible.
We should not split up.
Absolutely not.
I hear that's we'll cover more ground that way.
Ah.
Yeah, you'll cover 6
I
feet more
believe
ground, Branch.
this to be unwise, Branch.
Listen, you haven't seen these things yet.
It's true. I'm gonna say, Calamities, since you put Jeremy on the map, that Jeremy is huddled, like skittering, like trembling in your bag, like in your pocket.
Actually, I'm the one who put German.
I was gonna say I didn't put
All
Jeremy
right,
there.
all right. Well,
But yeah, no,
it's-
absolutely.
And
I
Salt,
just saw
Branch,
that
your
Jeremy
pet
had a
Salt.
token, so I just put him there.
Yeah, Salt is terrified as well.
Oh gosh.
Like,
It's okay, Salt.
just get me out of here. Okay, so everybody that's going down the rope, go ahead and roll a athletics check for me.
Alright.
At least I don't have a -1 on that. 21!
Hey, you made it.
8.
Oh,
4
8.
plus 4. I'm just gonna
18.
fall on Calamities.
Branch made it, no problem. What about you, Camilla?
11.
You may have made it. Let me check. No, missed it by 1. That'd be the 20.
Ah.
Someone catch me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so going
so
down,
scared.
we'll go down the order. So Calamities, you get down to the bottom, no problem. It's 20 feet down, and about 10 feet down into the well, or maybe about 8 feet. It opens up into a large, roughly rectangular cavern. And it's pitch black, so unless you can see in the dark, you can't see anything.
Sure can.
Okay, so you climb the last 12-ish feet down to the ground, and as you get there, you put your feet on the ground and you're like, okay, it feels like you're kind of in the desert. There's no moisture in the air. It feels very arid. And as you look down, you can see that the ground, which probably would have had water at some point, is caked in cracks, like the ground is starving. Think of like the desert when there's no rain. It's that kind of same look to it. You're like, okay, guys, and you can, as you speak, you feel the moisture being pulled from you and from your lips. But as that happens, you look up, go, okay, guys, and then Frederick comes falling down. So I need you to make an acrobatic or acrobatics. Blah, blah, blah. Calamities. Make an acrobatics to avoid Frederick falling on you.
That was a 10.
You are fine. Frederick, you fall right where Calamities was standing and hit your butt right on the tailbone, and you take 1 point of damage.
Ah!
And then
I
Branch,
think the rope might have worked better.
you make it down afterward, kind of giggling at Frederick because he's rubbing his tailbone. As you get to the ground,
Dodge out of the way.
yeah, you hear Camilla kind of scraping, and Camilla, you make it down to past the 8-foot part, and then there's nothing for you to put your feet on anymore, and you swing and you lose your grip. Branch, make an acrobatics check to avoid having
Gosh.
Camilla, or you can try and catch her if you want. It's up to you, I guess.
Oh, it's a nat 20.
Geo.
Okay. So
That
I will
doesn't
say
even look.
on the nat 20, you are just ninja. You land, see her falling, do a jump into the air, catch her, and then roll and put her down. And you're like, haha,
Damn.
saved you.
You're
Sick
welcome.
as fuck.
I mean, he's fast as fuck. With,
He is.
that, cover
He
move.
is.
Super fast. He's like, hey guys, I got speed.
Speed.
Well, Frederick is just like, well, you see, I may not have the greatest dexterity, but I certainly have spirit.
Mm. All right, so from here, I will put the map, or a map. It's not going to be the final map, but a map.
Awesome.
So I can find this one.
I will, once everybody's down here, I'll be like, have you guys noticed? I'm gonna, gesture towards the ground.
You all feel it too. Like you guys are there, and it feels like you open your mouth to breathe, and it's just air. Like the moisture in the air is being sucked out of you.
I'm just gonna yell at Calamities and be like, what the fuck do you mean? It's pitch black. How do you want me to see?
Oh, right. Human problems.
Yeah. So as you shout that, Frederick, 2 things
You'll
happen.
feel it.
One, you notice that your voice sounds muffled. And 2, when you're done, your throat is parched and you're like, I need water now.
Since I need water, I'm just gonna get a teeny tiny sip from the jug of gold mine.
Okay.
And afterwards, I'm just gonna light up Maelstrom with the light spell.
Easy enough. All right, so as you do that, you look down and see, and all of you can see at this point, that the entire chamber is like that of the desert. It is parched. There is no moisture anywhere. You have two paths. You can either go north or south. They both seem to slant slightly downward, like it's going down deeper into the ground.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna be like, we're in a well. Where's the water?
I'm gonna be like, here! I'm just gonna like
No,
shove
you
a fucking
doofus.
jug of gold mine.
I mean, it's suspicious that a well is so dry. Ah, forget it. Well, we got two paths, everybody. Which one do we want to take?
Well, since you're
Let's flip
so
a coin.
intelligent, how about you know where to go?
Alright. I'm gonna say even is up, north. Odd, southern path.
Southern path
That's
it is.
Calamity's vote. Flips a coin.
So are you going to catch the coin, or you just let it hit the ground as well?
I'll try to catch the coin.
Okay. Your dexterity is going to be high enough. It's not a problem. I mean,
Okay,
you have
well,
like a
I
plus.
nat 1 to the acrobatics.
Did you really just roll a nat 1?
I really did nat 1 the acrobatics.
Well, I'll give it to you anyways because it's a skill check. So, yeah, you're fine. You
Okay.
you go to reach out for it, and like you catch it, and as you go to put it down on your palm, on your like the top of your hand or whatever, you actually slam the coin sideways into your hand, and you're like, "Ow, fuck!" And then you look up. It doesn't give you any injury, but you're like, "Ah, fucking shit." But
Yeah.
you have a. All right, south. Anybody disagree?
South it is, then.
Well, let's do it.
Okay. So south it is. So the passage is relatively small. It's more oval shaped in a natural kind of cavern. It continues to slope downward. It's probably maybe a 5-degree down angle, so not super steep. But as you guys make your way, you travel for about 10 minutes roughly. While this is going on, though, I want everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Not again. 18.
19.
21.
Oof, Camilla, no.
Oof. All right, Camilla. So unfortunately, here's what happens. You have your blanket wrapped around you, and you're like, I'm invisible. No one can see me, right? And then you look down and realize the invisibility's worn off, and you're like, you are terrified at this moment. Just shit terrified. So you have the frightened condition. You can still move around because there's nothing here. But
I'm going to try to comfort Camilla before we move forward.
Can I hold the platinum pieces?
Yeah, of course.
well, I will give you advantage next time you have to roll against it because you are holding the shinies. That's very character
Got
specific.
one in each hand.
I like it. Okay. Damn you, freaking Frederick. Your high rolls. You're resisting all of my fun stuff.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, Calamity's rolled poorly last time, so we got to have that.
I did.
But
I'll pray to the Dice Lords.
Yes. You do hear the voices. They are getting louder, but they're not any clearer. But you continue to kind of brush them off.
Frederick is just like, nah, heretic.
Yes.
Nah.
Heretic.
All right.
Just
So
keeps,
here,
like, muttering that.
yeah. So here is what you see. As you creeping down the tunnel, it feels as though the very moisture of your body is being sucked out with every breath, leaving your mouth dry. Suddenly, pop! You pass through an invisible barrier. Your ears pop, and the humidity of the air slams into you like a hammer. Before you is a large chamber filled with water. A small tiered island raises out of the center, and the only sound that can be heard is the steady drip, drip, drip of the moisture coming off of the ceiling like rain. Floating above the tiered island is a singular orb of light, under which you see a man with his arms raised up in praise. Behind him are two furry human-like rats that kneel, their arms outstretched in worship as they bow continuously over and over, muttering something. And all three face the ledge. From where you are, you can see that there's something shadowy that's swirling in the murky water. I'll change the map for you guys here.
Oh. Oh, snap.
So you guys would be coming from the northern one of this.
Wait, we'd be coming from the north?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So, who is leading the...
I was kind of creeping ahead. That's
All
my
right.
thought.
So are you guys going to pull Severin out, by the way?
Oh,
Or just
yeah.
leave him in the
I
bag?
think it's about that
It's gonna
time.
be like...
Okay.
Fredericks is just gonna be like, the bag! The bag! And he's
Alright,
just
I'll
gonna...
put him in the bag. I'm just going to rename him.
He's just gonna, like, open it and just drag Severin out with his, like, strong fucking arms.
He kind of comes
He's
out
gonna
and he
be
goes,
like, get out of here, you!
Why? What are you doing? Why did you bring me out here? I told you I want back in the bag. He kind of tries to go back in the bag.
I don't say anything. I just close the bag. Like, nuh-uh.
Okay, let me roll a wisdom save to see if he's frightened. He is not. So after a moment, you close the bag. He kind of goes, fine. And then he turns around and then he goes, wait. What? Wait, are we underground? What are we doing here?
Shh. Don't speak so loud.
He kind of floats around a little bit.
All right.
So,
Basically, we just... And I just, like, give him a recap of, like, where we went and all.
okay. So before
And
we...
as far as I'm concerned, well, we got some heretics to purge.
Okay. So let me point real quick. So this is where you guys see the swirling mass right in here.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go any further, though, this would be getting into the combat range. It is a little late. Do we want to stop here and pick up here next time, or do we want to continue?
I'm actually gonna have to go to work soon, so
Yeah,
I
okay.
would not
Yeah,
even
we
have
should
time
probably-
for a lot of rounds.
All
Like,
right.
I'd have time for like one round or two.
Then we will go ahead and pause here for it. As you explained to Severin that there is something in the water, and these creatures are praying to it. Those blasphemous heretics. And that's where we'll pick up next time.